Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Lamplight City. We are in the Harris residence, taking on our second case. We've actually looked around this crime scene a little bit in the last episode, but then the soporific kicked in and we had to go home and sleep. So hopefully we didn't miss any crucial clues in that time. Let's start off by going back into the nursery to have a look. Then maybe we'll speak to these guys and see
Miles,
if
didn't you notice something a bit strange about the Harrises?
Quite a few things, actually. What are you referring to?
His son was just kidnapped, yet they're each on their own side of the sitting room. Not comforting each other, not crying together. Nothing.
Good point.
They're stuck-up rich people. Not exactly the type to show emotion.
Miles, you know I am the most cynical person there is when it comes to their type. But this isn't normal behavior, even for snobs. This goes deeper than saving face. There's something going on between them. I think you should find out what.
Yeah, maybe like an affair or something is going on. There's trouble in the marriage, maybe. I don't know. Let's have another look at the crib just to make sure we didn't miss anything right now. So the button was there. What I really want to look at is the window, but we'll have a look at these things.
Sort of fuzzy animal wearing a waistcoat. Charming.
Because we didn't get to see these.
Steam-powered bottle warmer. Certainly beats having to do it in the fireplace.
Pretty cool.
Or in the case of my parents, over a barrel fire.
Nice, okay.
Nice view of the garden from up here.
Very nice.
Doesn't look very comfortable. Whoever sits here must end up with a sore backside after a while.
Yeah, that's true. There's no cushion or anything on there, is there? Right, let's have a look at this glass on the floor. Looks like the window was smashed from the outside because the glass has come inside. Ooh, I thought that was blood, but it's fabric.
Interesting. This fabric looks as though it came from a garment of some kind.
So perhaps it came off of the clothes?
Huh. There's a small emblem sewn onto the side of this piece of fabric. It just says SS.
Somebody's initials, maybe?
Could be. Or a company initials, maybe?
Be careful not to cut yourself, Miles. I don't think the Harris family has ever seen blood that isn't blue. Look, you can see the balcony extends all the way around the side of the manor.
That would make it rather easy for someone to access this window from the outside.
No evidence of what was used to smash the glass, though.
True, so maybe they took whatever that was with them.
Probably won't be another year or so before the child gets any practical use out of those blocks beyond putting them in his mouth.
Yeah, probably true. Okay, so that's interesting. So they smashed the window or something. We don't know what, but there was some torn fabric. So let's have a look. We need to find out who or what SS is, and we need to speak to the Harris family. We've got the loose button, and we've got the fabric. So, anything else in here before we head out? Doesn't look like it. I kind of want to go into the other bedroom and have a look around before we speak to the Harrises. We've looked at this. There's the French doors, so perhaps that was used in some way.
She looks like she's up to something. I wouldn't get too close, Miles. That vase is probably worth more than your entire building.
Probably true.
I'm sure the only location the Harrises care about is wherever they are at any given moment.
Yeah, it might be right.
It's nice to see that tea is still served here, even in times of tragedy.
Gotta have your tea. Alright, let's go into this room. Then we'll have a look at this, and then we'll speak to the Harrises. I want to gather any potential clues I can find before we speak to them. Oh, look, it's a vacuum cleaner.
Fancy. Some poor servant's probably going to get a flogging for leaving it in here, though.
Could well be right about that. Dresser?
Who in their right mind would need that many drawers?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Let's see what we have here. A very poorly written letter addressed to Mr. Harris.
Spelt wrong.
I don't suppose it's a letter of admiration.
On the contrary, the author seems quite upset.
Okay. Mr. Harris, this is your weekly reminder of how much I hate you. Because of you, my wife is dead. My wife was a wonderful woman and you have taken her from me. I hope you suffer as much as I have. Arthur Devins. Well, I mean, that's certainly, could be related, couldn't it?
Nothing else of note in any of the drawers.
Oh, well, at least we got to play a rousing game of Search the Rich People's Dresser.
True.
Wardrobes are usually always full of wonderfully dark secrets. Painting of the city. Probably the only time the Harris family sees any of the other boroughs.
Yep, okay. Ooh, clothes
It looks like a pile of women's clothes. Must belong to Mrs. Harris.
Can we have a look? Because it could be...
There's a handwritten note among the clothes.
Ooh. Miriam, baby, I have to see you tonight. It's been far too long. Ah, so there is an affair going on. I knew it. I knew there was an affair.
Nothing else hidden among the clothes. Too bad.
All right, anything on the bed?
Ooh, another four-poster. The Harris family certainly makes no secret of their wealth.
True. Is there anything? No. Okay. Interesting. Handwritten note. That's a big clue, isn't it? Could SS be related to R? Maybe. It's very possible. Let's head out. We'll try the doors, and then we'll speak to the
Harris
Harrises.
family certainly has a nice view from which to look down upon the world. I wonder if they use the balcony to give speeches to the gardeners.
Let's speak to Mr. Harris first, and then, because we can maybe gather some info.
I
Maybe
have some
he
questions
knows.
for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Okay, Mr. Harris. Let's ask about the kidnapping.
Tell me everything you can about the kidnapping.
I don't know much. I was out last night while it happened.
Where had you been previously?
I was out with friends. My wife can verify the time I arrived home.
Wait a minute. I know this attitude all too well. This man is hiding something, most likely from his wife. I doubt his voice is from beyond the grave, so the question is, what's his secret?
Let's ask about the angry letter.
I found this letter in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
You went through our things?
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Harris. It's part of my job.
Got something to hide?
All the insolence!
You're upset, I know, but do you want me to find your son or don't you?
Yes, of course I do. That letter was sent to me by mistake. It was written to my father. Well, if you can even call that writing.
Have I ever mentioned how much I hate rich people? Because I really hate rich people.
Your father. Doesn't he own the company building the new airship?
Yes, that's right. He's been receiving many letters just like that one since the Lygia disaster. But that Devins fellow in particular has sent one every week, along with a bag of chicken bones and dust.
Huh.
Peculiar.
Not only that, he leads a daily protest in front of the construction yard where the HMS Lenore is being built, trying to halt production. My God! How did I not see this before?
See what?
Devins! He has a grudge against this family because of what happened with the Lygia. I'd put money on him being involved with the kidnapping somehow, as a form of retaliation.
I'll just have to speak with Mr. Devins and see for myself.
Okay, well, we can do that. Let's talk about the torn fabric.
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
Looks like it came from a piece of clothing. Possibly a jacket.
Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
Maybe? I can't really say. You'll have to excuse me, Mr. Fordham. I've got quite a lot on my mind right now.
That was sus.
If I can think of anything, I'll be sure to let you know.
Let's ask about the baby.
Tell me about your son.
Charles is a good boy. Very quiet. Miriam had wanted a child almost from the moment we married. You know how women are when they have their hearts set on something. I saw no need to rush, but
Nice to know you're not the only one. Hey, Miles.
the first 2 times Miriam was with child, she suffered some unfortunate accidents. She was devastated, as you can imagine. So when Charles finally came along, he turned out to be quite a blessing. I can't imagine what sort of depraved madman would take him from us like this. You must find him, Mr. Fordham.
I intend to, Mr. Harris.
Something about this guy that I don't like. Let's ask about himself.
Tell me about yourself.
There isn't much to tell, really. My life has been fairly well publicized in the newspapers.
Let's pretend for a moment that I skip over the society pages.
Well, I'm an investor. My father Clyde runs Harris Construction Company, which I will someday inherit. Any other details about me are fairly trivial nonsense, I think.
Well, maybe not. Let's ask about the button.
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, not at all. Do you think the kidnapper might have left it behind?
Maybe.
It's a distinct possibility.
Okay, the HMS Lenore.
How goes the construction of the new airship?
There have been some complications, but nothing we can't handle.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I already told you about the trouble with protesters at the yard, and we're blocked pending Royal Maverick's review of the safety regulations for the prototype etheric diffusion engines. Agitators and red tape aside, we should still be on schedule to have the Lenore finished and in the air by the end of the year. But really, Mr. Fordham, what the deuce does this have to do with finding Charles?
He has a point, you know.
It's
Those
all
are all the
important.
questions I had for now.
All right.
It's all important. Right, okay, theory time. we know that this lady's having an affair. He's also hiding something. Perhaps he's having an affair as well. We don't know. Maybe she's looking to leave Malcolm Harris, but can't. So maybe she organised the kidnap with her lover so that the baby's gone. Then she can just run away with the new guy, possibly. Maybe the new guy is trying to force an issue between these two and is behind the kidnapping. I don't know. As I said, early theories, my theories in the last case all turned out to be wrong, so probably all going to be wrong again. Let's see if we learned anything else. We've got to speak with Arthur Devins. Let's talk to
I have some
Mrs.
questions
Harris.
for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
I don't know whether we push the question about the affair just yet. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I'll think about that.
Tell me what you know about your son's kidnapping.
Oh, my poor baby.
Mrs. Harris, I know this is difficult, but I need as much information as you can give me so I can bring your son back.
Yes, you're right. I have to stay strong. For Charles. It happened sometime between 6 and 8 last night.
That's a big window.
I think. Both my husband and I had gone out. Charles was in the care of his nanny, Mrs. Davis. I arrived home first, around 8:30, and that's when I found this scene in the nursery, as it was.
And what was it you found?
Mrs. Davis, unconscious in her chair, the broken window, and Charles missing from his crib. Malcolm arrived home shortly afterwards, around 9, and then immediately sent our butler, Mr. Havelock, to notify the police. We stayed up waiting for any contact from the kidnappers, but there was nothing.
Your husband mentioned he was out with friends last night. Where were you?
Oh, I was visiting with some of my friends. We gathered at one of their homes for a concert.
Sure.
It seems hiding something from your spouse is an activity both Harrises
Yep.
partake in.
Okay, well, let's ask about Mrs. Davis. Also, why did she not call the police for a whole hour before the husband came home?
What can you tell me about Mrs. Davis?
Well, she's worked for us since Charles was born, a little over 6 months ago.
How did you come to employ her?
Malcolm's mother had a friend whose daughter she used to care for. She came highly recommended. We've never had any problems with her. She's always been a dream.
Where is she now?
In her room, I would guess. With Charles missing, there's little for her to do.
Where might I find her room?
There's a small building just around the back of the manor. Hers is the 4th door from the left.
All right, well, we'll have to investigate that, that's for sure. Let's ask about the motive.
Can you think of any reason why your son would be a target for kidnapping?
It could be that someone wants our money, or some lunatic who's angry about the new airship. My husband's an investor, and my father-in-law owns the company building it, you see. I just don't know, Mr. Fordham. Frankly, the fact that something like this could even happen is just terrifying.
The torn fabric.
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
No, I've never seen it before. Do you think it was left by the kidnapper?
Perhaps. Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
No, I can't think of anyone or anything I know with those initials.
So it seems like the husband might be more likely to know what that is about.
Tell me about your son.
Charles is our only child. He's such a good boy. Never makes a fuss. Always very sweet. Oh, Charles, you must be so frightened out there without your mother. Oh, please, Mr. Fordham. You have to bring him home.
I'll do my best.
Okay, herself.
Tell me a bit about yourself, Mrs. Harris.
Mr. Fordham, my son has been kidnapped and is out there alone, terrified and confused. What could I possibly tell you that would make any difference to you finding him?
I suppose you're right, Mrs. Harris. My apologies if I upset you.
Okay, let's ask about the button.
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, I don't recognize it. It looks like it came from some cheap coat.
Ah,
Is that what the ruffian who took my baby was wearing?
That's what I'm trying to determine.
so it could come from a cheap coat. That could be important. We're going to do it. We're going to talk about this note.
I found this note in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
I think she'll get
I've never
angry.
seen that note before in my life.
Are you absolutely sure?
Mr. Fordham, you mentioned you valued discretion. I ask you to please exercise some now.
Would it be possible to speak about this in private? In another room, perhaps?
Out of the question, Mr. Fordham. I shall not leave this sitting room in the company of another man if my husband is not present.
Fair.
Yes, I understand. Let's put the subject on hold for now.
What a life these rich people lead. All the money in the world and they're trapped like rats.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
We need to find out more about that affair. Also, I suspect that he might be having an affair as well. It's all getting very interesting, isn't it? So we want to speak with Mrs. Davis, the Harris's nanny. We want to speak with Arthur Devins as well. We've got a couple of locations to visit. We've had a look around here, couldn't find much else. Let's head out and we'll see where we want to go next. We have got there, that's Mrs. Davis's quarters. And then, we've got the Harris Construction Yard, which I guess might be where we will speak with Devins? Potentially? I don't know. For now, we'll leave it here, though, because we're out of time. So, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Terminally Nerdy, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle, and Barry Aldridge for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all next time.